got to do some.
Oh, no way.
I don't
I would
know.
love this, actually. I'd be like...
Well, you do yoga, so you like that, like... Oh, so maybe next time I should have read the lines. I'm like, oh, you do yoga, so I should put you here, and then I should be over there. 90-degree angles are not...
90-degree angles are the best angles in your body. Safe for you. Stable, yes.
Safe, nice, and stable.
Yes. And stable means more trust, means more safety, means more love, means all good. Yes. That's
Oh,
my line in yoga class.
You a yoga teacher for real. That's a yoga line right there.
Yeah, I got it down a few months ago, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's like kind of the tip.
Wow. Okay, so before we start, how you been? How's things with you?
Yeah, it's been good. Actually, honestly, really since I decided to go to Australia like a month ago, things have been really good. Like,
wow.
It's like, sometimes like you need to make a decision and then like kind of the knot unties or explodes, like things that weren't working before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, since then, like, energy has been super high.
A trip to Australia coming soon. Of course, everything's going to be great.
Yeah, I hope so. But, like, yeah, in general, just, like, life has been coming towards me more.
Okay.
It's, like, and before it felt like it was going against me, and I'm not, like, trying to play, like, victim or whatever, but I was really, like, not feeling it. Although I'm very, like, joyful person. And so, like, since then, just... things have been like I don't know, floating, flying. I don't know.
Floating, flying.
Say, yeah.
Like what's about to happen when you go to Australia? Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm ready to take off. Just like some paper shit, like holding me here still, like for a few days.
Brain's already there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you made this trip plan a month before. That's so interesting. Do you usually plan your trips like this, like that close to time?
No, I think it was a long process. Usually, let's say, everybody who knows me, then they know I will probably go anywhere. Like if I feel it and I have it set up, I'm like in my mind, I'm like, I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
But with this one, actually, it was an interesting turn. The last year, I had it in my mind for a long time to do it, and then I don't know, I just kind of I guess in a way, let life absorb me in a way and be like, no, maybe I'm not doing it. Yeah, there were like things that were kind of like worrisome for me, and I didn't do it. And it was really not like very untypical for me. Yeah, so like, and then, yeah, since I made the decision to go, like things have been flowing again. And before that, everything was just like stagnating. I was kind of really not doing good. And I was like, that's not me. I don't know what's going on. And I was really, but like, I actually, in a way, sometimes I know, and then sometimes I'm really like in between like two things. Like, you know how that is? I don't know. When was the last time you were like in between two things and you really didn't know and you got really stuck?
Yeah, I guess before moving here.
Yeah? You got stuck in New York City or what?
Because my mind was just like because I was doing like a little tour, me and my friend, right? We're doing comedy, and then we went to a couple countries, came to Berlin, the city, and then we went back to New York City, and then I was kind of like, oh man, because a couple people were trying to convince me to move here. And I was like, oh man, this European life sounds so dope. Like, the vibes and everything. And then my brain was like, yeah, it's in two places. My brain was in New York, but it was in like Berlin or Europe, like parts of Europe. And yeah, it was kind of like a place where I'm like, I don't know. Am I really about to just move? And I did it. Yeah.
And what was keeping you?
What was keeping me from making a decision?
Yeah, from like, because you said your mind was running. It was like, you said one side was like super dope.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other side?
The other side was that, been in New York for a long time, been living there for about close to 10 years. And then also I was doing acting. I was doing some other things. Some things are starting to pick up. And I was like, man, am I really about to just let all this here that I built in New York City and then move to Berlin? I don't even know. I just visited for a couple weeks. What is this place? I was just so many questions. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
I just
Actually,
went and
like,
did it.
I was just thinking with you. I was like in your brain, like trying to get with it. And I was like, yeah, what would have happened if you like left? And then you were like, it didn't work. Then you just go back and make a comedy show about that it didn't work, right? It's like, I'm like an idiot. I go to Berlin, I try the thing, and it doesn't work. Well, now you get me back. Like, now I bring you all the stories. Anyway, if it works well or not.
Yeah, of course. Either ways would be funny. It's been funny so far, so I'm enjoying
it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good so far. So, before we should go a little bit further, where are you from originally? Like, where are you from? Like, born and raised?
Yeah, so I was born and raised on the like really western kind of edge of Germany, like
Mm.
close to the Netherlands and Belgium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, but like I mean originally genetically, my parents are from Vietnam.
Ah, Vietnam. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're
Yeah.
Vietnamese. Nice.
Yeah.
And so western part of Germany, and how is that like? Is it colder? Is it more warmer? I don't know.
Similar to the Netherlands, really rainy and kind of gray. Yeah, I
Mm.
don't know how I survived there 16 years of my life, honestly.
Woo.
Yeah.
I
I'm like,
mean,
I'm a sunny girl.
yeah, I see the tan. You got the tan going.
Yeah, I mean, I tried. This was the first year where I'm like, okay, I'm doing this life of endless summer,
Right?
and
Endless
it's
summer.
been going well.
I mean, so far so
So
good.
yeah, continuing this year as well.
Wow, damn. So Western German. So you speak German clearly.
Yeah, it's actually I mean, it's technically not my first language, but then it is the best language I speak.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's your first language? Is it
Vietnamese, yes,
Vietnamese? Huh?
yeah. But like I basically I grew up so Vietnamese culture even well it doesn't matter. I think in Vietnam also happens, but like Vietnamese immigrants abroad, especially in Germany. I'm not sure about other countries, but I'm sure it's similar. We always get nannies in a way. Like I
Mm.
mean cheap nannies, not expensive nannies, but
Right. You
because
get
your
you.
parents are always like hustling. Like Vietnamese
Oh.
people are hustlers. Yeah.
Wow. So you grew up with a nanny, or?
Yeah, so like I had like I call them daycare parents in a way, but like yeah, so they would like from really early age on, they would like come um either take care of me when I was already still a toddler or like pick me up from kindergarten or such like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I was basically raised half Vietnamese, half German.
So did
They
you
were
have
Germans.
did, wait, so your parents got German nannies?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that sounds like a flex. That sounds like a crazy ass flex. So your parents had German nannies to take care of you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Cause all
But I
right,
mean, they were working 14 hours a day, right? Like they just like yeah.
yeah, but I mean I'm not gonna that's unheard of as an American. Like who people that have nannies are like extremely like wealthy, and it's usually not white people. It's usually like a Jamaican nanny or African nanny. So to hear Vietnamese parents have a that is wow.
No, that happens actually. I mean, it's either gonna be another Vietnamese lady, probably older
Right.
lady,
Uh-huh.
or like somehow. I think this was like. I mean, I'm 31 now, so like 30 years ago, I think it was a thing because also, I mean, there weren't that many immigrants wherever my parents were living. I mean,
Mm.
a few, but yeah, you just kind of find your people. I think Vietnamese people always find a way. That's the funny thing. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think we're known for that. We kind of find a way. We find a solution. We make it work. And so yeah, I know many other kids who were brought up by Germans half of the time, one full time, or yeah. And I was like, I mean, I had a variety of Germans taking care of me, but like,
Oh, you had a whole fleet. Okay, check you. Oh wow, you was really living. You had.
yeah. Until I decided, I was like, I don't want to stay with these ones anymore. I'm gonna stay with those ones.
I don't like
Parents.
this one. I don't like her shoes. Send me another one.
Now it sounds like I'm from this like crazy rich family. Like I'm all like staged here. Like although like my parents were like poor as fuck, but like
Oh shit, you had a fleet
yeah,
of German nannies.
yeah. I mean also that's a funny thing. Like they're Germans, like but like no crazy Germans, just like basic really German people who were like had early retirement in a way that like not that they were really crazy rich, but just because they had some like health issues or like they lost their job. So like they were taking care of me extra money. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
might as
that
well.
was yeah, that put me in between two worlds already right there.
Wow, that
Yeah.
must have been interesting. Like, cause I mean, I don't know too much about Vietnamese culture, but I'm assuming it's very different than German culture. Um,
Very, very different. Yeah. I grew up, my parents always telling me, oh, Germans are so cold. They're kind of like cold bitches. kind of they just take care of like they just take
mm,
care of themselves. They don't really know how to be communal. I don't know. Like, yeah. So I always was in this in between. My parents would always like if they wanted to say something, they would be like against me, they'd be like, you're so German. And
mm.
I'm like, yeah, duh. I grew up with Germans. You made me grow up with them. You paid them.
Right, you paid
Like,
a whole entire fleet. I mean, how could I escape? There was one over here in this corner and one in the other corner. I was boxed in.
I only had two at a time, right? A couple.
Oh,
But
two
like,
at a time. Oh, even you just flexing this whole entire wow. Couple minutes in, we flexing. Sure, I had a couple at a time. What? Wow.
yeah, no, yeah. So that, like, I mean, yeah, that was going on till like I was like 8.
Right.
And then instead of going to the nanny, I started to work. Basically, like I would move,
Mm.
like yeah, we moved around, and then we moved closer to work. So work was just around the corner.
Oh wow.
All Vietnamese people either have a flower shop or a restaurant
Hmm.
or a nail shop. I mean,
Okay.
like go
So
around the city, check it out.
so the
uh,
stereotypes, yeah.
yeah, they just like make business because most people are quite uneducated. So like they work with their hands. They just
Right. Okay.
yeah.
So wow, it's okay. Growing up, you had like the German, because I'm assuming Vietnamese culture is more communal, more probably more louder than like like in terms of like expression, right? Like I'm assuming. So correct me if I'm wrong. That like expression is kind of more outwardly than
Yeah.
inwardly.
In a weird way though, like the funny thing is that we're allowed, but then you don't talk about feelings or anything, and there's a lot of shame as well, so like makes you go quiet and like think about like what you say. So it's kind of a weird mix of culture. Like it's really I still haven't like I still can't put words to it really, I think. It's kind of twisted.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that crazy how like, it's like you can hear like the range of like voice and tone, but
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
emotions are still muted.
Yeah, it's really like that. It's really like that. Like outward, like I would say Vietnamese culture, I think it's also known when people go and travel in Vietnam, they're really like, yeah, it was really cool. People were really curious.
Hmm.
They talk to you,
Right.
but then what they reveal is really they really want to take care of like how their reputation is in a way.
Hmm.
So yeah, they like to twist around like also facts and such. Like I have it all the time. Like when I'm just like sitting there, like with like relatives or family friends or whatever, I'm like, no, 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 that's not the truth. And I have this thing because I'm German,
Okay.
and I'm also well, not just German, but I also am a personality. I like to be authentic.
Right.
So sometimes when they really get on my nerves, I'm like, nah, that's not the truth.
Oh, don't you call it out?
Yeah, because sometimes like they will twist your own facts.
Right.
Right? Like they would twist like for example, I had that before. Like, okay, mama, sorry, but yes, this is the truth. She would hide that I had a boyfriend. She would just tell people like, no, no, Lynn's not dating. I'm like, yeah, I'm dating.
That's
Like, why?
so.
Like I've been dating for 1.5 years. Like, why you like
Why would you
Because
say that? That's
she has
crazy.
like these things about like I don't know. Sometimes she would say, sometimes she doesn't. So I also didn't understand. But like, it's more about like I, d- I really don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what's going on in your mind, but I don't care. Like, I care,
Hmm.
but I don't care about your reputation because you're dragging me down the gutter, like lying.
True. Wow,
So,
that German side strong. Okay, you like nine. This is. This is-
and then when my mom is like, just let me, I'm like, no. Yeah, that's why I'm like, mom, I'm like,
Ooh.
I'm not going with this. I think she sometimes gets shocked, but like, oh well.
Yeah, because I mean, especially immigrant culture and like culture from outside of West, it's like these like unspoken rules that people tend to abide to, and it's weird. Like, don't talk out of this, or don't say this up
Yeah.
front. And then obviously you come to places like Germany or whatever. It's kind of like boom, right in front of you, like just direct, and you're like, whoa, okay, whoa, just even try to play around and act like you didn't know, or try to be cute. Nah, you just said it just direct with no emotion, just
Really? I don't
nine, and
know.
neat, it's like, oh shit, all right.
Is that what you experienced here, where you were first like shocked, like you were like, okay, these people really say what they think, or what?
You know what? Is I was shocked by how people express like maybe something they're thinking, but like with no emotion behind it. So no like soften the blow.
It's not like no, it's like, but
Yeah.
okay.
It's just kind of like, I wish even with the hand signal, it's just sometimes literally just like, just like, oh, yes, this is how I feel. Yes. And you be like, whoa, you ain't even
You have
blink.
feelings?
Yeah, yeah, like I didn't see eyebrow raise. It's just been even level. What are you feeling? Like what's going on? It's just everything is even level. There's no elevation, eyes or eyebrows, nothing.
Just the
Just
emoji that's like.
yeah, just a regular perpendicular line just across your face. Just a perfect like photographic.
But it's a question about like what they actually say then, because I don't know. Like, yeah. German culture is interesting because once I thought we were straightforward until I went to the Netherlands. Like I lived in the Netherlands, and then I was like, nah, we're not straightforward.
Oh wow, so it
No.
can get kind of crazy too.
It's crazier. Like they're really raised to like tell their opinion. Like I've seen
Really?
like small kids like screaming at their parents because they didn't want a certain ice cream, like crazy. Like I would be like, okay, who's throwing a tantrum? But this is normal.
That is normal?
Yeah, and then I really learned that, and I was like, I saw this, and I was like, now I understand why they are all like
Yo,
this.
that I mean, I mean, I can assume what they are because of that thing. They used to curse out their parents. That is wow.
Yeah, like I've seen this before where I was like, okay, no, I think we Germans like we are quite straightforward about like rules. I would
Hmm.
say like, we have norms and rules and like we'll tell you and like we're in a way also I think with Germans is like we're quite like kind of being like a human of our word. Like
Mm.
we say something, we mean it. Apart from Berlin, that's a different story. But like
Yeah,
Berlin's a
I've
different story.
heard.
But like, I would say like if a German says I want to be your friend, they want to be your friend.
Hmm.
That means like really they will like come help you. They will want to invite you to things. They just want to like yeah. And if they say they're gonna be there that time, they're gonna be there that time.
Okay.
While the add-on with Dutchies, I think, for example, is that they will just tell it their opinion straightforward, bluntly, and they don't care about your feelings. Which is good in a way, right? In a
I
good way,
guess,
like
yeah.
because they like learn to really express. Like they're
Hmm.
like, I really think this is shit or whatever, or I think this. But like if you do a project with them or so, it's kind of like, okay, now we have five opinions. So what do we do with all this shit? And like, why do we have to
Oh,
talk about this detailed word like for the next 5 hours? Like we can have discussions all over all the time. Which I think maybe that's controversial with German efficiency. Maybe that's why I was just like, okay, let's go back to production.
yeah.
Let's get stuff going. Like,
Oh shit.
so that's different, I would say.
Wow. I did not realize that. Yeah, I did not
Yeah.
know even because they have similar cultures or so, right? Like
Yeah, I mean, we're so close, but then not. I mean, that's so funny, right? Like,
mm,
yeah, so different than when you were like in the States or wherever. Like, so it's just like 1 meter to that side, the border, and the people are different. So,
that is so wild still to this day, like how
yeah.
drastically different these countries are, and they're so close to each other.
Mm.
And you guys travel. I have a joke about it where you guys travel to these places modestly, like like oh yeah, just going to just going to Barcelona or just going to Spain for a couple of days, and it's like you go into a whole civilization for just a couple of days on a whim. I'm like, what kind of life are you living? Are you a jet setter? Like, what's going? You just going for a couple of days just for the weekend? It's like, yeah, I'm just going. It's getting cold here, so I just want to catch some sun. I want to tan a little bit. You're like, for just for the weekend, you going to a whole civilization just to tan. All right,
When
life
was the
different.
first time you did that yourself?
I think the first time I did,
Like you got out of the like states. Like,
oh, first time I got out of the States, that's a good question. I think the first time, if I was to think back, I mean, the Virgin Islands is still the States. It's owned by
very,
yeah,
very, yeah.
colonized by US, but Virgin Islands I think was one. I'm not gonna lie to you. The first thing that was kind of different for me was the McDonald's. And at the McDonald's, they instead of serving like hamburgers, really, their special things was like fried chicken and fries. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that was just very wild. Where I was
You're like,
like,
wow, thing, there new stuff here. It's different. Yeah, I mean, right? Like makes
yeah.
sense.
I was like, "Yeah, I was like, "Can I get, like, a chicken burger?" It's like, "Nah, but we have a chicken on bone, a real chicken if you want that." I was like,
This is
"Oh,
a real
shit."
chicken.
I was like, "Y'all got those? I thought y'all only" I didn't even know y'all had these. This is crazy. This is the best McDonald's ever. They have real chicken here. I thought y'all had the fake ones.
Nice one. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, a couple other places that I've been to that, like, really,
Yeah. But yeah, that's so different, right? Like, how old were you then?
yeah, I think at the time I was like, ooh, maybe like 10, 11. It was like a family trip or so. And then we went there and then it was like a great time. Island life. So things being very slow and not that many available like stores where you can just go to if you want to buy something. That was another thing where it's like, ooh, okay, where's the store? It's like, oh yeah, it's by car far away. And we're not going because we don't have a car right now. The only car we had, somebody took it into town. So you're staying here. And
And
it's
you're
like,
like, what? Where are all the cars?
yeah, I'm like, what do we do here? There's no what? There's no internet. There's no this. There's no nothing. Like, what's going on? So very it was very interesting in terms of being in a place where you just had no access to your typical stores or things you're used to.
Hmm.
But
But did you like? So how's that? Like, you grew up in the city, right? Or did
yeah,
I
I
get
grew up
that
in yeah,
wrong?
I grew up in the city. So like
But
so
everybody has cars still in the city.
yeah, I mean, still got cars. I mean, originally I'm from New Jersey, so like I lived in New York
Mm.
City. Yeah, so New York City.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I want to clarify that. Yeah, so I
I
am
was like, you
not.
got a car in the city? Like
Yeah.
what?
I mean,
Like,
people still got cars in the city
yeah,
though.
crazy.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like, when I was younger, we used to, go up to New York. I have family up there in New York City. and you can still drive there. But where I lived at, it was like middle of city and suburbia a little bit.
Mhm.
So it's not even suburbia. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was like a decent part of it was like hood too. So you just had to you had to drive and you want to walk. If you walk, then like somebody gonna be like, "Who's that?" They don't know you, and they might approach you. Yeah,
Dang. It's kind of like
that was
dangerous.
definitely
Yeah.
life. Yeah,
Wow.
if you stand on the wrong corner for too long, they'd be like, "Hey, so what's up?" And you'd be like, "Hey," they'd be like, "Yeah, so you here? Why?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
waiting for the bus." All right, we watching when the bus, come.
Dang.
Yeah, that's a whole different life right there. But to go back to your time there in West Germany, so you had the fleet of German nannies, right? And then
Okay, some also had reasons. Maybe they didn't like me. Huh?
okay, all right, too.
Anyways.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
but
make
like,
a
let's keep the joke. I
yeah, we're
mean,
gonna
yeah,
make it look nice. Yeah, it was because you
me
needed
and my fleet of nannies.
it's because you was a special person, in a good way, But okay,
Yeah.
so you West Germany, and then and then after some point you went to go work. You went to work? Was you at your parents' restaurant, or was like just okay,
Yeah, yeah, it's a typical thing.
okay,
Child labor is a thing with
child
Vietnamese
labor.
families.
And how
That's
was
an
that?
episode. It was really tough back then. In a way, in the beginning, it's not right. It's like things you try. Like, I mean, for example, because my German was always really like decent. Like I said, it's like my first language,
Mm,
basically. Like I also speak it like accent free. Like you wouldn't hear that I'm not like originally German. Although I mean, I also was born here, so whatever.
mm-hmm,
But like, yeah, my parents like I would always we call it like broken German in a way. So like, it's like fragmented or whatever, like very heavy accent. And so like I was like 8 or 9, I think, and then it was the first time I picked up like phone like calls from like the people who ordered food. Like so we had like I had like a food delivery service. And I would like pick up the phone. Sometimes like people would actually ask me like, "How old are you?" I was like 9, because you're
yeah,
just hanging there like, and
yeah,
then at some place, but then you get soaked up. Like they give you new tasks. Like,
mm,
I'm like, I want to try to roll I want to try like this is like almost a joke. I want to try to roll a spring roll. And then you roll it so nicely, like this is your task for your life.
oh, and you just don't know. You're like, oh, I did a good
I
job. You're like,
don't
yeah,
say,
very good
yeah,
job.
yeah,
You got the
great
job.
job. Yours look a lot better than ours, which they did, honestly. But like, they were like, now this is your job. I'm like, okay. And I'm somebody I hate like oil on my fingers and such. Like, I need to wash it all off. And I was like, this is not like, I don't like this.
This like
I
good.
like it because I'm an aesthetic. So like, I would like make it really nice and neat. But like, that got me into spring roll hell.
Wow, spring roll hell. Wow. Wouldn't have expected spring rolls can be in hell. Damn. Oh, it must have been hot and spicy spring rolls.
Yeah. So that was it. But then then I escaped.
Oh, you escaped. There
I
you go.
escaped to the States when I was 16. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
All right.
got to find your ways out, right?
I mean, you got to, yeah, because working in that type of environment is difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. This is a tangent, but I did work in a framing shop, and it was owned by this Asian lady. She was Chinese. I know it's not the same, but it was like, um, because there's a stereotype about like restaurants, Asian restaurants, and like very hardworking, very fast paced, and you kind of looking in the, you order, and you kind of looking in the back. You're like, oh, I don't even know how do they do this? Like, what? Like,
Organized chaos, but like
yeah,
with like all these ants. I always call it like Asian people like ants. Like
mm,
they're just like crazy working. You don't know how it's working, but like you just see them marching.
yeah.
So
And you're like, what is going on? So when I actually worked in a spot like this, I was like, oh, okay. Everything's highly efficient, very fast. You don't throw things away, you reuse, like I didn't realize how many times you can use paper towels. Like I did not realize that. I
yeah.
thought it was a one-time use and you throw in the garbage. Nope. That was
Paper towels, that's yeah.
yeah.
I'm like I'm traumatized because my mom has paper towels ever.
What is that? Like, I mean, I'm talking about this drawers full of used paper towels, and it was organized based on its usage. Okay, this one was used for the window, so this is the one for the window paper
Oh.
towels. This is the one that it was like,
Okay, maybe I don't know. I don't know if it was that lady, but like I don't think Vietnamese people are that organized in
yeah,
general. Like I mean, generalizing always, right?
all
But
right.
like yeah, but that's funny. So how long did you stay there? Like
Ooh, I stayed there. I think for a summer. It was crazy.
crazy.
Yeah,
I got you working.
huh?
He
it
got you
had me
working.
working. Even the interview process was like, hey, here's this math worksheet, and I want you to solve it with no calculator. Yeah, I found this on Craigslist, and she was like, yeah, I want you to solve these problems. It was like, what's 3 divided by 4 to the second power divided by 2 times 3 or something.
Why do you need this?
I, I don't know. I don't know what her process was. I'm like, these are frames, lady. I don't know what kind of division we need for these frames. This is crazy.
She's like, what are you? 5D dimension.
Yeah. Or she's like, okay, in a dimension of 20 by 20, how many 1 by 2.5 pieces can fit in this or something? I'm like, oh, okay, I can see that, but I'm not a framer. So, and I'm not I found this on Craigslist. So ain't no genius scholar calculus person figuring this out.
Yeah, she got you though. Like she hired you.
Yeah, because I basically kind of lied a little bit and I kind of sweet talk my way into it.
Ah!
Yeah. So that's the reason why.
Okay.
It was a fun
Okay.
job. I learned a lot, and
Yeah.
I actually learned how to deal with anger from a different culture, which was interesting. Um
How was Chinese anger?
it was immediate and very urgent. It was just like so it was like very jarring. I still to this day
I see it in your face.
I broke this glass on this. It was expensive glass. I had to do something. I forgot she upgraded me. Clearly, I did a good job. Something. She's like, "You're hired. This is your job now, right?" Doing it, and I cracked the glass, and something you break something, you don't want no one to hear it. You think like no one heard it, and the minute I cracked, she's like, "You broke it. You broke it. You broke it. You're fired. You're fired. You broke." I was like, I didn't even have. I didn't even know what to do. It was just so. It was like an alarm. I thought I stole something. I'm like, what, hey, what? She's like, no, you broke. You broke. You're fired. You're fired. And then I had to like really.
She really fired you that time?
No, she didn't. I did
Oh.
something that I think I basically offered to give my paycheck to to fix it. And for her, she's like, oh, you don't have to do that. No, I just because it's no, it's that okay. She felt very like guilty, I guess, or very like, and actually brought us more together.
Oh, interesting. What a
Yeah.
plot twist.
Yeah, it was pretty
Oh,
crazy. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, they can. Yeah, I mean, I think Asians can be quite like fiery.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It was different.
Raging. Yeah.
Yeah. But similar in like that in African culture and stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, similar like the emotion stuff, not really. Yeah, sort of. I mean, the emotion is more explosive, so it's almost I would sometimes wish it was like silent. But very always working, not being in the house and everything, so I kind of relate to
Mm,
some extent
yeah.
about that. So, you escaped this place and you went to at 16, you went to the United States. How first of all, how did you escape?
Uh, so let's see, like my parents come from a background where they're like, they're from the poor, like countryside of Vietnam, both of them. Both like didn't really get to enjoy like education as much. They
Mm.
had to like, start working for the family really early. I mean, no wonder I have this history myself, right? But drop it onto the kids again. But like, so I think education is quite a big thing in Vietnam in
Mm.
general. I don't know if it's like from the last generations or it's maybe from like the trauma of not being able to have that.
Mhm.
But like, the biggest aspirations is that you kids get education. So I just recently like reflected on it that it has been for me a way of escaping was always to like use education as an argument. Like as a like, as a to be like, oh, I can go because I need to go study this. I need
Oh.
to go because I need to learn English so I can like, work globally or something like this. And it actually is a pattern that has been repeating in my life that I would like I myself even I spend money on like things that I can learn rather than materialistic things. Like
Mm.
materialistic things I'm not really like not a big thing. But like experiences, learning environments or so yeah, I went to the States to stay for a year. Um in high school, like it's also actually a big German thing in a way. Like there was a time, I don't know if it's anymore, but back then it was always a thing to like in 11th, we call it 11th grade. So wait, basically when you guys go to high school
Mhm.
kind of thing, to go abroad for a year, and mostly it was the States.
Wow.
Yeah. So like yeah, I ended up in the States, which is also a plot twist. I mean, come from a Northern Vietnamese family going to the States. But like, I mean, they didn't care. Like, they were
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just like education doesn't matter.
Right,
You
right.
go to the States, and plus, I actually wanted to go to England, but then I think they were like, yeah, you know what, going to the States is cheaper, so just go there.
Yeah, it's like go
Like
to
we
where
always
it's
say,
cheapest.
like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
further, but wherever. They also speak English, right? So kind of, yeah. So then I ended up in the States in Utah.
Y-
Like I
Oh,
had to laugh already when I was like, oh, are we
you.
going into this? Then yeah, I guess.
Yeah, of course we are. Are you serious? No, you don't. We don't skip over Utah, like especially when that's a destination. You went to Utah. That's your first
Yeah.
state you went to when you went to the States.
No, I mean I stayed 2 weeks in this like kind of prep camp, like they call it prep camp for all like the study abroad students. But like yeah, I was can't even like I need to yeah. I was chosen because everybody gets chosen. It's not like but I was chosen by a Mormon family to come stay with them in the States. Yeah.
Damn, they just couldn't help them, so they just wanted more kids, yo. And it was like, yo, we're
Uh,
gonna get kids by any means.
yeah, I mean we gotta convert more people. So.
Yeah, it's like, hey, let's get kids from all over the world. Let's bring them in, Let's get them to more and
Yeah.
Mormon. That's great. Wow. So Utah,
Yeah.
what was that like being in Utah?
I mean, that was interesting in so many ways. I mean, I make fun of it, but like I go by humor a lot. But like you need to know that I actually was like crazy atheist back then. My mom is like a Buddhist, like, and we have all these like traditions in Vietnamese culture as well, like where you have an altar and you pray to your like ancestors and you give them like gifts or food or whatever, like,
Oh wow.
But like for me it was just always like, I don't know. Like I don't really feel any connection. I don't think there's anything up there,
Hmm.
like, above us or whatever, around us. But yeah, then it's funny thing. So like they make you so when you were like so you usually go through an organization, like you sign up with an organization, they have like a bunch of families who want to like spread American culture or whatever.
Hmm.
And so they make you sign like they have this questionnaire for you, so you put in like your hobbies and all the information about yourself, and you need to tick a box that you either want to stay with a religious family or not.
Hmm.
And they tell you, well, if you in the States, if you take no with a religious family, then you're probably not gonna end up anywhere, and nobody's gonna choose you because everybody's kind of religious. That's what they
Oh,
kind of say.
interesting.
So like, I mean, I was like, yeah, okay. So I took the box. So then I got beyond religious.
Yeah, you got completely like I mean, out of all
Yeah,
the
I went to
religions.
all the spectrum, like the edge of it, I think. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I laugh about it. It was a really good experience, I would say. Like I grew up that year. Like not I wouldn't say grow up. I always grew up really quickly in a way because of like the experiences in my life, but like that experience was definitely very different also from everybody else's.
Oh, I mean, clearly, yeah. I mean, for one,
Like people don't drink. Like I mean, I mean, there were always the kids, bad kids. They would also still drink, right? Like
right?
like
Yeah, they're
people
gonna be
don't
yeah,
drink.
somebody, yeah,
But the craziest thing, I think, like one of the craziest thing, for example, like instead of like having a party, we had like a gathering and
a gathering. That don't even sound.
gather. Yeah, it sounds bad, right? But like instead of like we wouldn't have crazy parties where people would get drunk or crazy, but like I had like get-togethers where people get hypnotized when you're 16. Or we run, how do you call these like is it like a chicken scoop? No, like how do you call this, like where they like on a farm where you have like a chicken thingy?
Chicken coop, not chicken coop.
I don't
Chicken
know.
beam.
Yeah, so like there was like one time we were somewhere, we landed up on this farm because Utah's a lot of like farmland, and I had
Mm-hmm.
a lot of kids in my high school that were like farm kids.
Mm.
So like sometime we ended up like really at the beginning of my year, and I was like, where the heck did I end up? We were ending up in this place with like all the cool kids and such. And then yeah, I mean for fun, we don't drink alcohol, right? But then we run through like like this like left abandoned like chicken house where there was like a lot of like chicken skeletons or like dead chickens still in there, like in the cells and such.
Oh yeah, the little with the
Yeah.
little
Like it was this
grates.
long house, and we just run through it in the middle of the darkness in the night. And I was like, oh my gosh, where did I end up? That was like that's kind of different experience. You find your fun,
Very.
right?
Yeah, I guess when you're not drinking. Jeez, what?
Yeah, I've seen crazy stuff. Like
Oh,
we broke into school. I mean, I think that's not like that could be anywhere, but like yeah,
broke
we did
into
just like random different things. It's so funny. Toilet paper people's trees in the front yard. Like you just do other fun things.
that's wait. So we cannot skip over this, and we have to touch back on this. There were hypnotizing parties in Utah.
Yeah, because like okay, funny thing, I'm also a hypno coach, but that came later.
Oh, okay. Well,
And that came to me. I didn't wasn't searching for it, but so like hypnosis is more like a deep state of relaxation in a way.
hmm
And like you can also call it like guided or deep meditation, whatever. You just go to your subconsciousness. And because people who usually like belong to a religion or to a faith, they're usually more connected to something or like they are more open to something that's
hmm
not rational. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
And so that's how I explain why it worked there. Like people would get hypnotized and it would just like immediately work because anyways they're not just like no 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 that's not gonna work. But I believe in something anyway, so like why would I not believe if somebody tells me I'm gonna run around like a chicken now? So
Was that one of the things that
no,
happened? I
yeah,
mean,
I think
because
yeah, like I don't know, be like a rabbit or do a crazy plank across like a table and something. I don't know. People were doing funny things. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it didn't work on me. I was just like always watching.
oh wow, did they try
Yeah.
it on you before?
No, it didn't really work. I was super rational. I mean, when I was 16, I was really like I was like super like I said, I was an atheist. I was just like that doesn't make sense. This is just
Yeah, and they had a German side to it. Oh yeah, so like atheist and then German, you was probably like
yeah,
9. This is not.
yeah.
You just like immediate. They're kind of like, all right, you're not even all
You do
right.
your thing. I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch. It's fun. It's a fun story to tell. Yeah. So like I was always there. I was watching the stuff, but yeah, it was actually interesting. But yeah, I mean, getting to the dirty stuff. Like I went to church like 3 hours every Sunday. That's a
Oh,
respect thing. Like I think that's from the Vietnamese
right.
culture also. Like in a way, you kind of respect things like how it's going in the household and such. And they said you don't have to go, but we kind of expect you to go. So like I went. Others the year. I think that was only 2 times I didn't go because I didn't feel well um that Sunday or so. But like yeah, and church activities on Wednesdays, which is nice. I mean, it was also like getting a feel of community.
hmm
I don't think you have that here too much in Germany. I mean, you get it in like if you're in a sports club when you're early young age, but because people are not really religious or so, and
Mm,
people are more to themselves in a way, like I would always say cold weather people cold, more inside, more to themselves.
no choice. Yeah.
So
I mean, it's hard to be happy.
so yeah, there was really different. Like everything was really like organized around like, your ward where you lived and such and like yeah. Was nice, but I mean, when you're 16, you're sitting there and somebody's just like preaching something. So
Yeah,
obviously
he's
it's
like,
boring. But I learned a lot of things. They don't swear. It's actually something that I adapted to later in life. Whereas like actually not swearing is good.
hmm.
Why would you use dirty words? Like,
So you don't
come
curse
at
at
me
all
with.
now?
No, I mean, I did, right? I mean, did so many times
Oh,
now.
you did, right? That's how messing my brain is. I'm like, you did curse? What?
You're like, no, she spoke good words.
I'm like,
But
oh.
yeah, I adapted to that like a while. I was like, yeah, why not? Yeah, why not like keep your mouth clean in a way? It
hmm
makes sense. I think the most like one of the things that I took away, I really like that actually nowadays in life. I think I took a lot of things from there, like the values and beliefs. Some of them are not bad. Like I came back also kind of defending them. People were making fun, like you live with Mormons, and I was like, yeah, but actually they were really good people. We're really
Mm.
like functioning family, like no trauma or like no crazy trauma or something. Like actually, if I look back at it now, and especially like I work a lot in like coaching and psychology, so like looking at it, it was quite well organized, good
Mm.
place. Like they were loving people. So I mean, I can make fun a lot. There was a lot of funny moments, but it was also great place to
Wow.
be. Honestly, like I'm very thankful that I was able to be the seventh child.
Wow, that is so interesting.
Yeah,
Utah. And
yeah.
then you made it out okay. And if anything, you learned a lot there. That's so dope that you was able
Mhm.
to experience like certain cultures, and then bring some of that out. Not bring some of it out, but in terms of incorporating some of those like, I guess principle. I don't even know
Yeah,
what.
no,
Yeah.
like really good. Like, yeah, I understood a lot. I think about life, like also early in a way. Like you were 16, you kind of teenager. You're supposed to do like you know what, I don't know, think about whatever, but like
Hmm.
it kind of got me some some different depths. I think that's kind of like also making my way up until now. So it's, yeah, it's been a blessing in disguise. Yeah, but in the beginning I didn't want to go, right? I was like, I don't want to go stay with Mormons.
Yeah, that is wild, you know?
What's that gonna be? Yeah, so yeah, no, but it was beautiful. I returned a few times there.
Oh, you went, okay, you went back a few times. You got
Yeah.
friends there and stuff, Utah?
Not anymore, but like, I mean, it's been time. It's been like half of my lifetime ago, but like I went back a few times after. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And it's beautiful nature, honestly. I mean, Utah is beautiful nature. We had like just mountain ranges, just like across from the house. You just go out and there's like mountain range,
Oh, that's
like
dope.
green lush, super nice. Like, and like they're really like nature loving people. Which back when I was a teenager, I was like, I wanted to go live in California, live the OC California life. Well, I ended up in Utah. Like, what the heck? Like, I'm staying in church every week, every Sunday, 3 hours. Like, what happened? I wanted to live like fun, like sunny, kind of like weird high school life. But yeah, that's
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Wow, okay, so then Utah, you was there for a year and then you came back to Germany, or where'd you go
Mm,
after from Utah?
yeah, I came back to Germany. That time my parents separated, so like I kind of moved from the west of Germany to like the middle of Germany, Frankfurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you live in Frankfurt?
Yeah, close by, like close by there, like half an hour away. Yeah, kind
Wow,
of like in
okay.
a suburb or whatever you would call it. Yeah,
So
we're
how
really going through my now. We're really going through my CV in a way.
Yeah, I know,
I
yeah.
love it.
You know, I mean, wanna make sure we're not
Recapping
leaving
my life with
anything.
a comedian. Okay.
Well, we at least had the laughs in between, you know?
Yeah.
But, so how was that transition from, like, the culture in Utah and then you going back to Germany now?
That was crazy. I kind of like, it was quite a big hole. Also, like summer break, so like I had to transition to a new school. Then plus also actually in Germany, people are very different in different states. I would say like
Mm.
the state where I was from. I would say I've always said it, but I still believe it. I don't think I'm biased. I think people in the we call it northwest of Germany, North Rhine-Westphalia,
Mhm.
people are really the most laid back and the funniest. Like also like more tolerant. Like for example, Cologne. There's like for example in Germany, there's like a big like gay community. Like it's
Mm.
always been a thing. We celebrate carnival. Like there's always like this crazy time, the fifth season of the year we call it. So like people are a little more like chill, less German in a way.
Wow.
So like I come from this kind of side of it where people are, yeah, more relaxed. They kind of like just like joke around. They're a little more, I wouldn't say they have temper, but they have more humor,
Mm.
I would say. And they don't have the, we call it stockamash, means like stick up the ass.
That sounds so literal.
But it is, right? This is kind of like how like, so maybe like very typical German is like working in like an office and being really like uptight in a way.
Yeah.
Um, but then I moved to around Frankfurt where people are a lot more conservative
Mm.
and yeah, I would say like less joyful
Really?
and kind of just more complicated. So like that was a shock. Then coming from the States where everybody's like also very open minded, you guys like to talk, right? You like to have conversations and like kind of be at ease being around just humans, where these people are like in a way not, I wouldn't say complete opposite, but like yeah. That was kind of weird. Yeah. I didn't like it there, honestly. I stayed there for a few years. Um Finished high school and all this kind of stuff, studied around there, but it was really not my vibe.
Mm.
Yeah, when I left, in between I also left abroad. But when I left and then like moved to Berlin, I was really like, "Oh, okay, this felt like a relief."
Mm.
I don't know if you've I mean, you lived in New York City and Berlin, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I
It's
mean,
different vibes. You kind of feel different. Or when you go visit cities, like you're like, it's not my vibe. And I
yeah.
had that for a long time in my life where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't would never go back to a place where I don't feel like the vibe.
Mm.
Like,
Right.
yeah, that was really yeah, that was a tough time, honestly.
Wow. I mean, I would assume just by that transition and a lot of things were happening. So your parents and they
Yeah.
moving to different parts of
Yeah.
Germany, like that's a lot of stuff to happen.
Yeah. I've moved so many places in my life. Like I've seen like a lot of transitions, but that one was a yeah, if I talk about it now, I'm like, yeah, I think it was just not my place.
Mm.
Like it really was kind of like getting me more like inwards where I'm more, I would say I'm an ambiverted person, but I'm still more like outgoing. Like I like people, I like to be around, they're just like it's like I couldn't like get the connection, like there was no magnetism. It was just the opposite.
Oh yeah, you was like, damn, I need to get
Yeah.
out of
So
here.
like I can't. Like my mom was like, "You want to move back here?" I'm like, "No way, I'm ever gonna move back there." It's like, yeah, darkest episode, greatest episode of my life in a way.
Ooh, yeah. So
Yeah.
then, okay, so then a couple years in Frankfurt, and you moved around and stuff, and then now you're here in Berlin. Um, there's a few things that, I mean, obviously you have a lot of titles to you. You do a lot of things: yoga instructor, hypnotist, motivational coach. You got a lot. You do, you got a lot. Um, but I saw something in your post. It was actually very interesting. On Instagram, and that I think you took your mom on vacation or something. And yeah, I saw some of your notes about how that experience was for you, and then
Mm-hmm.
how connecting with your mom, and then her not really traveling that much or so.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious on, like, how'd you like what what was like what was the moment that kind of really brought you to those words?
Mm. So nice you pick it up because that's like 2.5 months ago or so. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I really like. I kind of like tried to reflect a lot also on my life, on the people around me and such. And I took my mom on vacation, or I mean, did I take her or did she take me? Whatever. It's
Hey.
like you. It's always a matter of perspective. In June this year was the first time, and I go on vacation. I say that to friends. I'm like, oh dang, it's the first time I'm taking my mom on vacation. Like
Mm,
really, like. And I know she always says, like, you've been so many places, and it's kind of like with a pain in her heart that she
mm,
hasn't been. She's been like, I mean, she's been in Vietnam, then she was a guest worker in Czechoslovakia when it was just still Czechoslovakia.
wow.
And then they came over to Germany. But all she's, well, nowadays she's seen more, but up until like I was 20 something, that's all she'd seen.
Hmm.
Well, I was going abroad. I was living in Mexico. I was living in the States. I went to Australia. And a lot of it, she made it happen, honestly, with her hard, like, handiwork,
Hmm.
honestly. And also my dad, I gotta say that as well. Um, but she's always been this, like, oh, for example, she always had this dream to go to the States. And that
Mm,
was like 6, 7 years ago. She's like, that just seems really far away for her, right? Like, that's like, oh, and like the States sound really cool, amazing, big. And at some point before she turned 60, she was like, can you take me on vacation? Because the thing is, so this is the thing. One thing, she hasn't been in places, but she also can't really go places by herself. Because, like, she speaks Vietnamese, but at the same time she speaks German, but like very broken. She always, in a way, I don't know, she communicates with people, but it's not like she can have a deep talk, like, like it's really
mm,
like. And it's like when I talk with other people or when she's there, I will adapt to her German so she understands like what I mean, like, because it's not like.
wow.
So I have this like fourth language in a way, or whatever, fifth or whatever, where I'm like
Ooh.
this German Vietnamese thingy
Right.
and to translate. But like, so like she can't really go places. Like she can go in Germany, like she can get a ticket or whatever. She'll go get past, but like she doesn't speak English. Which like English is almost as my English, I would say, is as not as good as my German, but very good. Like it's my second language by now. Actually, funnily, second
Mhm.
best. So for her, it's really hard to get around. Like, so I had to, in a way, take her. I mean, she's been going with friends to organize tours, but like I realized, I was like, oh, I actually really gotta take her to make it a nice experience. And that also switches like our roles around a lot, right? She's my mom, but then I go take her. I go take care of her when we go somewhere or whatever. And yeah, that
Wow.
was kind of like a flipping point for me in a way. We went on a vacation. I realized, like, all the people around me, I grew up around a lot of Germans. I mean, also actually a lot of Turkish, but I'm not really in touch with them anymore, so I don't know how their reality is. But mostly I grew up around a lot of Germans, and so I was always comparing myself. Also, I was like, I want to have a chill life where like my parents just come home and they don't, work. But what I realized then when I went on vacation, okay, I've also never been on vacation with my mom really. We
Mm.
went to Vietnam, but that's like a money visit, right? You go and you give money to relatives. Like,
Oh, that is, yeah.
like it's not vacation. I mean, you go and say, like, you go and you're there, you show up, you say, like, you show up and you're there coming from abroad, but it's not like going on vacation. So this was really after 31 years was the first vacation with my mom, and I realized how how I actually am a kid of an immigrant in a way. Like
Mm.
sometimes you just it's so in you that it's like you don't realize, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like I don't know. Do you always realize you're black? I don't know. I don't know. I
Yeah.
forget sometimes. Like sometimes you're so in it that you don't see.
Mm, I'd say, I mean, not black, but more so, yeah, I mean, black because, skin color and stuff. But, and also in America, it's kind of out in front of you. But in terms of African, I would say that certain things I would do, it would be like anyone that knows an African, it would be like, oh, that's like I have this one friend,
Mm.
her name is Christiana. And anytime I like react, something about Africans sometimes, the way we react to stuff or when we're shocked, is like very distinct, right?
How is that? Tell me.
It's just like over the top. So like sometimes somebody may spill it. You be like, what? You be like, why you spill? They be like, so you just tripped and you just spilled it on the ground. Like what like you just like kind of make
Yeah.
like, but you don't mean it's not a big deal. It's just how you respond or something like that.
Mm.
Or like for example, somebody be like, yeah, I almost fell asleep and I was driving and someone got home. I'm like, yo, what you? I'm like, you fell asleep behind the wheel and then you
Yeah.
got home. I'm like, how? It's like
Yeah, it's like this kind of shocking, like
yeah,
yeah.
it's basically aggressive curiosity.
Ah,
That's the best way to
interesting.
explain it.
Mm.
So she'll call that out, and sometimes I will not even know. Like my brain is not even, and she'll be like, yeah, you should like you're so African, yo. I'm like, what are you?
Oh,
And then
funny.
and then
You don't realize.
she'll tell me there are things I do. I'm like, all right. I mean,
But it's true, right? I
it
mean,
is
like you have
true.
that background in a way. But
Yeah.
like for me, I for a long time, and I didn't realize what those words meant. I would talk to people, and sometimes I would say, especially like in my 20s, I think.
Hmm.
I said, if I were to look in the mirror, I would think I'm white.
Really?
That was back then, and like in a funny way, I say that. I just like say it how it's in my brain. I kind of have been finding my color back the last years. And I
Hmm.
mean, it has like also has to do with like family drama, and also in a way, like my parents always said like, "Oh, you're so German," and I also didn't want to be Vietnamese. What does it mean to be Vietnamese? Because I had two people showing me. I didn't have a huge community. It was different. Like people that grow up in
Oh.
communities different. I grew up with like Vietnamese parents with like a very like German like society around me, and then like I was like, so you can't really know what's Vietnamese and what's family, what's like there's no like that's Vietnamese. So like I just knew I wanted to be German because German seemed easier.
Hmm.
And so this is like things like yeah, the trip with my mom, it really kind of brought me back to okay, where do I come from actually? In a
Mm.
way. And it was nice. It was nice to like take her on vacation, be easy, and it's funny. Yeah, for her to be at ease, and but also at the same time be like, yeah, if I go, so that's the thing. The difference is if I go on vacation with my mom, I'm the one organizing. I'm gonna be the driver. She doesn't have a driver's license because she failed the driver's license test 3 times because of just being nervous for her. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that changes your life. You don't have a driver's license, you're always dependent on something, right?
Right.
So yeah, like I was driving her around. I was the one translating things. I don't know, like everything. I would decide where we go because I mean, you have no choice anyways. I mean, I'll ask you, you want to go to the beach? I will choose the beach because like yeah, all this kind of information or whatever, like there's not
And this is in America that you guys
relevant.
travel to, or where?
No, we went to Mallorca, which is
Mallorca.
such a German like holiday
Wow.
vacation, but it was just the cheapest flights. I would have loved to take her to Italy.
Oh, that would've been dope.
She would love that actually, going to Italy. Yeah.
Yeah.
When she was pregnant with me, she would always eat at this Italian place next to her work and like fresh pasta. Like she loved that. So
Wow.
that's for
But
another time.
yeah.
But yeah, it really just kind of yeah, showed me a different reality. Showed me my own reality in a way again where I was like looking back at my own history. I was like, okay, I mean, that was a long way to come here and still a long way, and there's a lot of reality that is quite painful in a way that everybody around you, they're like, that was your first vacation with your mom.
Yeah, I mean,
That's like for a lot of people, I mean, they have been going on vacation since when all the time, like the people I grew up with, right? In a
mm,
way, so that was special. Yeah, that was special.
and I guess also Germany does have that culture of like traveling a
See,
lot too.
yeah, we
So
also have
yeah.
that. Yeah, for example, like I mean, you could compare it to go into a different state even, but like, yeah, my mom didn't get anywhere apart from out of Germany. She went to Vietnam for the last 20ish years, and then just only recently, the last years, like her and her friends go on small trips and such. But
Oh,
yeah, it was nice for her to go with me. I think that
that
was
is
cool.
so dope.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so dope, and I really love like the message you put behind it. I don't know. You should probably put that up somewhere more or so. But that was like dope to see that the experiences you guys had,
yeah.
and hopefully more people go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I think that's really good for others as well. Like now, I have more friends who have like immigrational background or such, but different. living realities. And for me, it was always a pain being like, I feel so different. But that was a nice vacation with my mom. I hope we can get to go more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we're gonna actually meet in Vietnam.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, but
Yeah.
then we also said we're gonna go on vacation more and not just like hang around old, like our folks and such.
Right in Vietnam, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny how you said that. It's not really a vacation. It's always like, yeah, the same thing. When I go to like Liberia, where my family are from,
Mm.
as soon as you get there, it's like family come. It's obviously not for free. They try and be like, hey, so you hungry? Cause I am. You trying to buy food for everybody? And I'm like, I guess I
Damn,
guess
yeah.
based on how you ask that, I guess we all get food.
Yeah.
Again, can I stay here? By the way, I have no money to go back. All right. So I guess you're here in this place. I thought I was gonna have privacy. Nope.
Yeah, it's this kind of mixed thing, right? Like you're in a way you go back. I don't know if you feel like that, but I would assume like you go back and it feels like familiar
Mm-hmm.
and nice because you haven't seen people. But then it always comes with this kind of thing where it's like I don't know, it's not easy. It's different when you're like, hey, let's go out to eat. I pay, rather than there's something coming.
Oh yeah,
So.
yeah. But hey, you want to hang out? You're like, this hangout means I'm paying for the whole entire
Mm.
hangout. All right, this is not just a hangout where we just
No. And then you have a date with 10 people paying for them.
Oh my, yeah. They're like, oh, so here, so your uncle, this and that. Oh, so we're all hanging out. I thought it was just me and you. Now it's a whole family
Yeah.
event. Okay.
Yeah.
Or like so and so going to school. Who's that person? My cousin. I guess I'm related to. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
can only take it for a little, honestly. Like I've just went back after so that's the thing. I've put it aside for a long time. I was just recently, life of in the summer. I went back to Vietnam this year. Was like the first time in 16 years.
oh wow.
And I'd been going all around the world, and then at some point I just realized it's been 16 years, girl. Like, I think you've been avoiding something.
I think I need to, I think I need to confront something.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that was interesting.
Mm. So let's get into your titles or
My
so.
titles. Oh shoot.
Yes.
Okay, people got time.
Yeah. So let's go with the most interesting one.
What's the
You're
most
a
interesting?
hypnotist.
I mean, I'm a hypno coach.
Hypnotist coach, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, you can call it whatever. Yeah. I sometimes I like to frame it differently. Say I'm a meditation teacher to like
Meditation.
not get people scared because in the end, it's like sometimes the framing is just yeah. Yeah. I was blessed to get an education like in COVID times.
Mm.
That just kind of came to me, and funnily, it's like it all intertwines and things. But yeah, I mean, yeah, a hypno coach and systemic coach. We looked at you just kind of look at your subconscious, and you can walk a path with somebody and like go deeper and like see if you can find some memories. Yeah, recreate some scenes. Like let's say you had a bad scene and bad thing that was traumatizing, and go back and like make peace with it. Like you kind of go into your subconscious and like you can reframe it or just look at it and see what's there. I
Mm.
mean, it is in a way like Inception, but
Wow.
you can if you want to, yes. But I mean, it's not as easy, I would say. People have their guards. You have your
Clearly.
guards in your subconscious, so it's not like doesn't always work.
Wow.
It's a matter of how far you want to go. Yeah, it's beautiful work,
That is
honestly.
that's some
Yeah.
brave stuff right there.
Yeah, I've seen crazy stuff, and it's always like there's layers to it. Yeah, I've had a girl once that like had like this like kind of in a way typical like insect phobia, spider phobia, but there was a lot more depth to it. Like it came from something, something, something like that. She was like, I can't be a room with in a room with a spider by myself.
Mm.
She was just like she really could not.
Wow.
So yeah, and then you kind of go and find out why and what can help, and like try to rewire that in a situation where there's a spider, maybe you can handle it yourself rather
Yeah.
than wanting to jump out of the window or something.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be
yeah. So yeah, that's yeah. But I don't practice too much. I mean, people have been coming back to me and being really interested. And I think I should do more. But it's just like I don't really market it too much.
mm.
I use it, and you can use it really well in the kind of language I use. You can use it a lot. It's good to use it in yoga. It's not like I'm hypnotizing. I'm just like, I'm using kind of like similar language, or like especially in like shavasana where you want to get people deep
Right.
in this state, in this frequency. That's perfect. I was like, I learned the hypno stuff before I did the yoga teacher training, and then I went to the yoga teacher. I was like, this is perfect. It's
Wow.
perfect. I can like make people like run through the flow and then put them really deep, and they're gonna float out after,
Oh,
which is really like I feel like people do when they come to my class.
wow. Okay, so yeah, you probably the top like yoga teacher out there.
No,
Man, that's
I think
okay.
I'm okay. I think I'm okay. There's a lot of good ones there. There's a lot of shit ones, especially here also in Berlin, because everybody's teaching something.
Yeah,
But I don't know if you
everybody.
should be teaching. But
Mm.
but yeah, yeah, I think I'm okay. I think I would say I'm a student of life, so there's never I wouldn't I even this teacher title, it's easy to say. I haven't found something. Sometimes I call myself instructor, but I was like, it's also we'll see. Maybe I'll find a good title where I feel like that's what it is.
Yeah. So I have one last question for you, and it's a question I ask everyone on the podcast or recently have. Is that you've been through a lot of different cultural experiences, right? You've born from Vietnamese parents. You had a fleet of German, not fleet. You had two at a time, German nannies. Uh, west west part of
Bad
Germany.
girl.
No, no, yeah, no, not bad. You're the one. You're the special one that
Yeah.
need two.
Need
Yeah,
special attention. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no, no, you was special. I can't say special without it not being bad.
Yeah.
You guys were
Actually, I
doing
was a
great.
really nice kid. People like I was really different from them.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, a bad hypnotist. Come on, that can never happen.
Yeah.
All right, so West Germany. You have also traveled to the States, Utah. You came back. Your parents separated, and you was in the other part of Germany. You traveled to Mexico, even. So many different cultures. And if you used to go back in your life to your younger years, what would be the advice you give to your younger self?
Okay, that's a deep one. I would say it gets better.
Mm.
It gets better. It gets better once you get to the point um where you can decide stuff. Because honestly, when you're younger, you're in a frame of circumstances. Yes, I mean, from a spiritual or like a psychological perspective, you have a frame where you can surround yourself with, but you're too young to know that you can like change your attitude or things. Like I think it's very hard then when you're really like absorbed in your feelings or things, and you don't really have space to like move around things. But like yeah, I mean, later in life it gets better when you learn things, and when you kind of go through life and you start to learn that even like yeah, in a way bad experiences are not bad, so like it gets easier and you get to enjoy life more. I think I would tell my younger self in a way. Uh yeah um and yeah, everything that you kind of encounter is like it can be a good learning experience. And then
Mm.
once you have that twist, it's like okay, life is a game and you're just learning from it. It's fun.
I like that. That is dope. That makes life a lot more interesting.
Yeah, like yeah. I think what I can add on to this, like one story is like a small one, is like there was a time, this is like 5 years ago. I was dating somebody in Berlin. I felt like in a way like not madly in love, but I was really like in love. And I knew with that person we weren't gonna be in a relationship because he was like moving away. And I really fell in love with the personality. And he left. And I was kind of like, in a way, I was devastated, but also not. And then one time I was grieving it, and I realized, I was like, the grieving is hard, but what is the grieving showing me? I didn't really think. It was more like, in a way, an enlightening moment where I was like, boom. And I was like, I only have the grief because I like that person so much. And that was like the twist for me. I was like, oh my gosh, now the grief actually seems nice because I'm actually grieving an experience that I had or a person that I would like to be around, and they're not there. But we also didn't have any drama, you know? It was just more like, they're not there. I had a good experience, and it's just a sign that I had a really good experience. And then I was like, fuck, then actually, in a way, heartache or whatever is not as bad because you go back to the point of reference. You're like, that's why. And that was the plot twist. And I was just like, okay. And also, any type of other emotions, it's just showing you something. And it's not easy. I don't want to say hey, people, like you got to look at everything super lightly, but like it twists. Like it really was a twist where I was like, even like heartache can be good because it reminds you of something.
Wow.
You're like, yeah,
That
wow.
that
We
is
got that African thing again.
yeah.
I love it. It's good reactions though. It's nice. When you tell a story and you get these type of reactions, it works.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Ha. Yeah, that is a good. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That is
Mm.
sorry, my African thing. How? What? What?
No. So yeah.
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 Damn, that's a very thank you for sharing that story. I think that really hits a lot for a lot of people, you know?
I hope it does. Like, yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, maybe results may vary here in Berlin, but sorry. I say it. But no, that is beautiful though, definitely
Mm-hmm.
that certain emotions come from sometimes beautiful places, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then thank you very much for sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
All
welcome.
right. So anything else you want to leave the people or,
Nah,
well, after that, I mean, that's really a mic drop, right? That was a
that was
mic
one,
drop.
right? But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, just like, yeah, I don't know. Take everything as it comes.
All right, cool. Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you. And guys, thank you very much for listening or watching the Third Culture Talk podcast. I'm your host, Nyan Yenifin. Don't laugh at me. And I'll see you guys.
We'll see you around.
Yeah, I'll see you around. You just the water I didn't drink today. It's a rough day. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.